Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I think that's a Mary Poppins thing. So I got a note. We have to talk into the mics better.
Sure.
Because our voices, we'll lean away and then, so rookie mistakes. We're getting better at it. Well, maybe. I don't know.
We keep learning.
We're trying. We're doing our best.
Yes, as we are updating announcements.
Are we? Yeah, it's like, oh, we didn't put that in there. Oh, we need to do this. So that's kind of like that's why this podcast is so important, because we realize, oh, shoot, we forgot about this and this and this.
Yeah.
Things are just too crazy, but it's a good crazy. But what's funny is I was thinking about this because you picked the bulletin cover.
I sure did.
You did. So do you want? I had some fun thoughts that came to me.
I have
I was praying with it, but
I did not like what the bulletin company provided, and I went searching and
found this?
I just found, and it was a nice, just simple. That's how I try to find things. Is what's simple.
Absolutely.
The children's bulletin is more based upon the gospel. Like you can see the Pharisee and the tax collector, but yeah, that's the cover relates back to us of the bulletin. So,
well, I just think it's interesting because we were just talking about all these different things, and we didn't mention this, and just all the different events, trying to have what is the focus? We're talking about all these different things, and the focus of all these different groups, all these different ministries, how are they directing us as a whole towards a goal? And we're having these great conversations, and then we need to make sure we mention this, and we'll push that event this way and whatever. But it's funny because all of that just falls away to nothing when you think about this prayer.
Sure, yeah.
God, be merciful to me, a sinner. That's what's important. It's we didn't do this maybe the way we would have wanted to, or this didn't go the way we'd liked, and yet it's all those things, really when it comes down to what our faith is about. And I'm not just saying that being irresponsible is okay. I'm not saying that. But just when you look at the list of priorities, it's did I even ask God for mercy today? All of us need mercy. It's every single one, we've been having some funerals, every single one of us is going to meet God one day, and he's not going to care about most. I think that most of the stuff that we think is really important, when it comes down to it, God will be like, okay, well, what about this?
What'd you do here?
Did you love?
He's going to circle back to those Beatitudes.
Were you merciful? Did you, it's just kind of funny when you stop and think about the things that matter to God and the priorities, because that's what concupiscence is, which is the after effects of the fall. Not to get overly theological, but one of the things is disordered desires. And by that, I mean out of order. There are things that we are supposed to value, that God values, more than other things, like love, mercy, all these good things. And so, yeah, it's what's the verse where Jesus says, why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye when you have a log in your own? And he doesn't say don't address the speck, but he says first go remove the beam so that you can see clearly, right? And I love the gospel, because the Pharisee is, hooting and hollering and all these different things, and the tax collectors just have mercy on me, a sinner. This is who I am, but I know who you are. And so that's the thing. So I love what you picked. It's a great prayer. And yeah, so we need mercy every day. You know what else we need?
All day.
All day. I need to rewatch that show. I haven't seen that in years. New Girl. In case you've never watched the show where we keep quoting all day. Okay. So upcoming this week, we have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's
not
a pretty
really
quiet
actually.
week.
It's a pretty really quiet week.
Lots of good stuff actually starts happening next weekend.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What's next weekend?
Well, it's the Day of the Dead weekend. Dios de los Muertos is 3 days.
Absolutely.
Right? Starts with Halloween on Friday. All Saints Day Saturday.
All Hallows Eve. In the Catholic sense.
Yes, and All Saints Day on Saturday, and All Souls Day is next Sunday. So
Father Mike has a great, we'll get to it in a second,
yeah.
But Father Mike has a nice article kind of explaining some of these things, but we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, that's coming up. So, but next week it's pretty
And if I did
or this
pronounce
week,
that
is it's
wrong,
pretty
all
chill.
of my St. Stephen's friends, I apologize and correct me
You
on
did pretty
Sunday.
well. You did pretty well. I know that because I never say it right. Like I'll hear it correct, and I will say it incorrectly. And you said it. What you said sounds right. Like I can hear it, but then like I try and say it, and it's like nope.
Last year we had a really fun party over in the parish center.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Got the ofrendas.
We had an ofrenda,
Absolutely.
and we had a lot of activities, and we played Coco, and yeah.
Well, it's interesting when you look around, like because like I mean, a lot of the cultures from South America have all these amazing traditions with it. But it's interesting too. Then I was looking at some of the Asian ones, like from Asia, some of the European. It's so interesting how the church in different parts of the world, different cultures treat All Saints Day, All Souls Day. It's very cool, But all of them, the what I love about it is all of them have the communal, like the common denominator of community with those who have passed on. It's very interesting. So,
and because All Souls Day this year, even though we'll talk about it probably next week too.
Sure.
But just we are not actually having a special service for all the souls.
No.
The candles that we had at funerals will be lit during or out and available at some point during the mass time. So
yes.
you can, if you are here and your loved one had died and was buried from St. Jude, you can come get the candle and take that home with you.
Yeah. So anyway, that'll be coming up. Pretty exciting.
But there is it's everything's during Mass this year. There's no special service at any of the churches. So.
Absolutely. So, and this is all like next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
November
like
1st.
a week from.
Yeah, I'm just ahead of the game. Apparently, I think it's the last week of the
Bulletin
month.
brain. Yeah, that's what we get. It's where we're always constantly thinking a week or 2 weeks ahead.
But be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit further on in November, this will probably be the last time that it's in there just because, registration. But, I mean, if Father Mike wants it in there longer, it will be. Father Kevin and Father Mike are the spiritual directors on the retreat coming up in the 14th through the 16th of November. It's called the Divine Mercy Encounter Retreat. It's a great experience. Everybody gets something a little bit different out of it. Some people more, some people less. I met my wife and Father Brandon Fekels on that retreat, so pretty awesome. He wasn't Father Brandon then, but that's okay. And a bunch of my other friends that I actually on that retreat. So if nothing else, you might meet some cool Catholics that stay in your life for a while. So that's cool. We're sad because, and we just had the funerals for Mary Jo Camp Reinelt and Alice Greer this past week. So continue to pray for their souls and for their families. And yeah, the coat drive's coming up here.
Yes.
That's exciting. So if you have a coat.
Sorry for the short notice, but if you have a coat, again, on the weekend of November 1st and 2nd, bring them to the vestibule of the church, and we'll get them to the right places.
Yeah, so all the details.
Anybody who wants to volunteer to help Emmaus pack them up on Sunday after 10:30, just come see me. So any young person, or if you know a young person, or if you just have some time available.
If you're able to pack things. The October is the month of the Rosary. It's been in there for a while, so continue to pray the Rosary. If you ever have questions like about prayers or devotions, like the Rosary, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, Father Mike and Father Kevin, both always, excited to answer questions. We are too. I love the Rosary. So, and what's interesting about that is I didn't always love the Rosary. So it's something where it's like, it depends on where you are in the journey. So if you don't have a devotion to our Blessed Mother, that's okay. But I would strongly encourage it. It's a phenomenal relationship. So anyway, that's another story. But if you ever have questions about these things, don't hesitate to ask. As we mentioned, Father Mike has a article about the church, some of the church's teachings about heaven, about purgatory. So that's a cool. The thing on purgatory, especially with All Souls Day, is something that we get uncomfortable about. As Catholics, I think sometimes because we want to believe, and we do believe and hope that our loved ones are in heaven. You know, we hope that for everybody. But purgatory does exist. If you want to have a conversation about that, a lot of people shy away from it, like I said. But don't be afraid. If you have questions, please ask. If you do have a question after reading Father's article, don't hesitate to ask. Faith formation's coming up. Sarah put a cool little reflection in there, and we have the final October faith formation, which will all be in the church. So
everybody starts in the church. Well, the middle school and high school will start in the
Where they
founders
always do,
room,
yeah.
like they always do. The younger people will meet in the church this
So
week.
no school, just church.
Yes, do not go across the parking lot.
Yep. So there's that. That's coming up. We had Grandparents' Day at the school, and then of course over here in the church, so it was full. It was beautiful, and this you can just kind of get a kind of an image of how many there were with these with this butterfly. I thought it was kind of neat.
Cool.
It is.
If
So
you
they
can
all
see it live too.
So yeah, they all they made a hand imprint or cutouts, and then using those hand cutouts made the wings of this butterfly. So it really is neat. Yeah. And next week, or in November and December, we'll have more gatherings of the 12 Men's Discipleship Group, as well as the newly rebranded Women of Faith. So that's going to be coming up here.
Shouldn't that be an E then? Woman.
I don't know. I just copy-pasted.
Okay.
But I can...
That's a conversation to have
We can fix it.
them.
It should probably be woman. So sorry.
Woman.
Woman. The woman of faith. Anyway, but regardless, the women, wonderful group of ladies of all ages, coming together to talk about the Lord. So, and then we have this, we had the movie Cabrini. Our Ladies Guild had a showing of it. Last year? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very well attended, and everyone that came loved the movie. And it's a powerful story. And so Catholic Charities is going to be doing a showing of it, as you can see here. However, since it is free, when the spots are gone, they are gone. So if you would like to go and see this movie on the big screen over at, is that Cathedral Prep? Yeah, in the auditorium over there, you need to get your spot right away. So we made it nice and big, but yeah, it's a cool movie. It's a great way to kind of meditate on a life of a great saint, and hopefully imitate her. And then this has been in the Bulletin in a few weeks. This is the biggest I've ever made it, is this picture of St. Jude's, and it's empty because there was no one there. That's why. And because it was during the day. And just inviting you to bring someone with you to celebrate Mass. And I kind of said this before, but keep in mind that the Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. Like, we have cool Bible studies. We have cool groups that meet. We're going to be adding some things in the near future, probably into the new year. Father Mike has a lot of really great ideas. So does Father Kevin. Like, a lot of formation that's coming, and that's all really, really good. But the reason that we do all those things is to help us enter into the liturgy more, to help us draw closer to Jesus. And Jesus is fully present in the Eucharist. So, with all this said, we can have all these cool other things, but that's not the source and summit of our faith. Those are to help us. But Mass is the most important thing. And I don't think we say that enough sometimes. You need to come to Mass. It's very important. So, and we also need to bring other people. There are people in your life and in my life. It's a challenge for me too. There are people that we know who don't go to church at all. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest growing demographics of religious affiliation are the nuns. And I don't mean religious sisters. I mean N-O-N-E. Yeah.
N-O-N-E.
Thank you. None. They don't have any religious affiliation whatsoever.
Right.
So that changes with invitation. Now, of course, with invitation comes questions. If someone does come with you, they might, ask you a question that you don't know the answer to.
Sure.
The best answer, if you find yourself in that situation, is I'll find out. And then actually go find it out. Now, you could be like, hey, Sarah, can you explain the real presence to me? You can do that. That's fine. But
I can try to explain it. But see, sometimes it's not necessary. You can explain it and talk about it till you're blue in the face, but unless you experience it, that's so much of our faith is the experience of things, not necessarily like just talking about them.
And what's funny about it, and the explanation of it is what I'm getting at, but what's funny about it is like, you might then say, you know what, let me ask Father Mike how he would word it.
Sure.
And then you see what I mean? Like, it's a big team effort. It's not just a thing where it's like, okay, we expect you to be on your own and go out and...
Oh, no.
No, that's what I'm getting at here. So if you bring someone to church, introduce them to Sarah, to me, to Father, and be like, this person, I brought them to church. We'll be so excited. We'll welcome them because we want them to join too. So it's a big effort that we need to, maybe put a little bit more effort into, but that's why that's in there. So you are invited to invite. It's okay. And even if the person isn't Catholic,
it's okay.
That's okay. We have, all these things for a reason, and that is to bring everyone to relationship with Jesus Christ and his church. That's why we do this. So, enough out of me. Favorite part of the podcast. Let's go. Children's Bulletin. What do we got?
Lots of humility in this bulletin. The definition of humility, what it means to be humble, just like the tax collector was in the gospel this week. So
that's a great definition. Knowing you need help. I like that. That's awesome.
Right. And then the gospel mission, repeat this definition of knowing you need help and talk about a time you needed help from God or from others, and invite your parents and invite your family to talk to you about this and what you learned in the process of understanding you needed help and asking for it and receiving it.
We experience that a lot, actually, in the office. Like we have our St. Jude Cares, ministry, and and then we have the food pantry. And there was one guy, he came in a couple of months ago, and he's been, he came in the other day and was saying things are getting better, like he's working and stuff, so things are getting better. But when he came in, like he didn't come in right away. Like he could have stood there at the door, and I'm watching him like, what's going on? And then he came in, but like he told me that he almost didn't. He really needed help. He was really hungry, but like he knew that he was going to have to look at me and be like, I need your help. And he didn't want to do it. But then he said, my stomach rumbled, and I was like, all right. So he came in, and we were able to give him, a meal. And yeah, he's getting his life back together. So, but like that dude, like that's humility. Like he was like, I need your help. It was really cool. So anyway.
Some of our best inspirations for humility are our saints. And so, When the Saints Go Marching In is a fun song. And I just this picture was just cool. So
I love this.
Isn't that
Where
fun?
did you find this picture?
It's a cover of one of the gospel weeklies.
That's so it's just cool because I love how it has the notes of the song, but then I love, it has the saints in between the notes.
Yep, has some of the saints that are just pretty awesome. These are actually some of my favorite saints on here, truthfully.
Really, really good ones.
Like St. Martin de Porres and Dorothy Day, like some of those are my favorites. But
Dorothy Day is so good.
Right.
Oh my gosh. She has a saying that I hate. And when I say that, I mean I love it because it makes it better, but it makes me have to be humble when it says, you love Jesus as well as you treat the people you like the least. And I go, oh, Dorothy.
Right there.
What's that? That's like the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy! Come on. So good.
So again, the saints put God and others first. And sometimes it took a long time in their life to do that.
Right.
Some of them didn't come out that way. Let's just put it that way. So some of them, it took them a journey of faith to get there. So remember, we're all marching.
Well, that's what's so beautiful. Is it's like it. Some people will be like, well, is it too late for me? And it's like, have you ever heard of this person? Nope.
Yeah.
Because some saints are daunting. You hear their story, and it's like.
So if some of these saints I've used in the Children's Bulletin over the past couple of years now. So if you recognize them or you still have an old bulletin, if not, take a look them up. And who would you want to be in your parade if you found a saint? So fun that way. Lots of, since All Saints Day is it's fun. And then we can reflect on All Souls Day next week.
Sure.
I wanted to do them two separate ways here. So there's a party of like regular people, us, with the people that have been canonized as saints. So that's a big process. I think was it this past weekend there was 7, or is it this coming weekend? There's 7 people that were canonized as saints.
Yeah, I don't remember
which weekend it was.
I don't remember either.
Anyway, Pope Leo did it. Anyway, and then the Feast of St. Jude is coming. Pope Leo.
He's great.
The Feast of St. Jude is coming up here. If you've been praying the novena prayer that's been around at the church, if not, it's never too late to start.
I was going to say,
won't be a novena. It'll be
well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Like there is they call it the official novena, right? Building up to the feast day, and yes, that's important. But you can do you could do a novena to St. Jude at any time.
Yeah.
any time of the year. It doesn't have to be. I mean, yes, his feast day, but like I'm pretty sure St. Jude would be like, cool. It's fine.
That's cool. Thanks for the prayers.
Thank you for asking. I think is probably what he'd say.
So yeah, pick your favorite saint and have them pray for you. During the month of November, maybe not just for that week.
Sure.
Happy All Saints Day. There's some saints here to color. There's also some young people down at the bottom that are holding their pumpkins and dressed up. So
Woo-hoo!
That's fun. A little bit about what All Saints Day is. Another reflection on the gospel. And the back is a lot about prayer. Again, thinking about what I put in the adult bulletin. So it's just another reflection that way. A prayer to ask for, for forgiveness from God, and then an activity that maybe you can do as a family.
Yes.
So our homebound people get visited once, sometimes twice a month by special people in the church who have committed to doing this, and they take Eucharist to them and a bulletin or something that way. But they also will take items. Sometimes our faith formation people have made them cards at certain times of the year. Sometimes our young people over in the school have made them cards. So if that is on your heart to do as a family to do that, just bring the card in. We're not going to have it, for any specific person. Just bring a card in that you're praying for them. Know that you're praying. We know that you're praying for all the homebound then, and we'll make sure they get that card.
Absolutely.
And stuff. So we'll give it to that ministry when they come in here to get communion.
Yep.
We can even take it over every Sunday.
And if
they take communion to Westlake Woods.
I was gonna say, if you color a picture, like if you can't make 50 cards, if you color a picture, we can photocopy it and give it to everybody.
Yeah.
Because
or if you color a bunch of pictures.
Color a bunch of pictures and we can give them out.
Bring them in. We can always get them to a lot of people that would need that. There's sometimes we just have people that are struggling. They have some, family issues that they can't come out because they're taking care of their loved ones. So be aware that we do know who they are, and we will get them your cards and your prayers.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
something to do. The actual one of these, it said to send it to prisoners. And while I'm a big advocate for praying for the men and women in jail who have gone through, something in their life and they're at that point, pray for them too. Sending them cards from young people, I don't think is the wisest decision.
Yeah, no.
But one of the mercy, one of the works of mercy is to pray for the imprisoned.
Absolutely.
And to visit them if you can. But sometimes it's the homebound that are in prison too.
I was gonna say the nursing home. I used to volunteer in a nursing home for retired nuns, elderly nuns in Minnesota. Saint Scholastica Convent, and it was huge. I mean, and because the Benedictine for monks and nuns out there's two huge monasteries.
That's cool.
It's really cool. But this was a huge nursing home. I mean, it was full. I mean, and these ladies.
So yeah,
they. I mean, think of many of them don't have family anymore. Or they didn't have kids, kind of a thing. So many of them, they'd literally just,
that's
we
some
would
of our
go
ladies
visit and they would just sit there.
At hangout too, that, they do get out of their house,
sure, but
they are alone. So, let's keep all of them in our prayers. When that mercy comes to visit the imprisoned, it does not necessarily mean a jail.
In jail, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
those who are
behind bars that way, paying,
whether you're locked in a house or in a jail. Yeah,
exactly. Or even those who are in a mental hospital because they have a lot of issues that way. That's another type of imprisonment. So we just have to be aware of the people around us and to pray for all of them and to not look down on them.
Yeah.
To remember to be humble and ask God for mercy on us and them. So.
Well, and I think it starts to go back to the beginning. It begins when you look at yourself. It's not like humility, not to be confused with false humility. And I think that's the problem. It's like, I need forgiveness. Yes, you do. Like another description of humility that I like is it's a recognition of reality, right? So if you have sinned, you need mercy, you need forgiveness, you need to repent of that sin. Sure. But because if you're looking for repentance, that means that sin is not your identity. Now, if you have given over and you're not looking for repentance, then yes, you have made that sin your like who you are in a sense, because you won't let it go. But if you're willing to let it go, if you're like, and sometimes we can't. Sometimes maybe there's an addiction, maybe there's something really intense going on, and it's outside of our control. And that's why God is so important, because God is all powerful. So when we go to God and we say, Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner, he does. That's the best part. And then he will give you what you need in order to move past it, or maybe take that next step. And it's not going to come all at once. It's a journey. Mm-hmm. You know, you learn how to follow the Lord. A good example of this, last year with the 12, we went through the Gospels with St. Peter. And one of my favorite, he's one of my favorite characters in the Bible, one of my favorite saints. But what's so interesting is, like, when we got to the end of the year last year, we went back to the beginning of the year, that first call of Simon, mm-hmm. and then and as we looked at the end, we're looking at like his letters, we're looking at, you know, Pentecost, like having this moment of like, this is the same guy. Like when you look at it, where he started and where he ended up, it's incredible, because one of the last conversations that Peter and Jesus has is Jesus telling Peter, here's how you're going to die. Like, for me, that's kind of one of their last, you know, conversations between the two of them that is documented. And what's interesting is then you go back to the beginning of the story, and Jesus says, I will make you a fisher of men. Now, I think that if Jesus began with, here's how you're going to die to glorify God, if Peter is anything like any of the people that I've ever met, he probably would have said, have a nice day, mm-hmm. Right? But he had fallen in love with the Lord. Like, he had realized the truth, who Jesus is. And once that was figured out, he was willing to lay down his life for Jesus. So back to the invitation thing, back to all this stuff, back to humility, just where are you at? Some of us are at the beginning, and maybe you've been at the beginning your whole life, and that's okay. It all matters where we end. And that's why All Saints Day, All Souls Day is such a beautiful celebration, because that's what we're celebrating, is where we end up with the Lord, right? So there's another scripture, I think it's in, is it Ephesians? I forget. It's one of St. Paul's letters where he says, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us put aside every weight and sin that clings to us.
Sure.
So that's what humility is. Humility is to say, yep, it's there, but you know what else is there? The cross, Jesus. And now we can be saved. So it's pretty cool. Like, this is a great time of grace and a great time of rain. So enjoy try and get some sleep.
Rain. And if you're building an ark, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We'll get on it, because it's wet out there. But know that we're praying for you. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I think that's it.
We'll see you this weekend.
All right. Peace.
Bye.